Hello everyone! So we got the new live letter for patch 6.5 and 6.55. So let's talk about what was announced. First of all, patch 6.5 is coming out on October 3rd, but it's only going to be part 1. And the second part is going to be coming out in January. In this patch we will finish up the story with the Void, and then start the preparation for the new expansion. Don't expect much of the expansion story to start happening till January though. So what's coming with patch 6.5? Well, we're getting the main scenario quest, which is in 2 parts. And in 6.55 we're gonna get Tataru's Grand Endeavor. I'm curious if this is gonna be the final part of our adventure, because I'm getting excited to see that necklace we're making. Because with the collection of random things we have gathered, I'm not sure it's gonna look very nice. But I am excited to see it. With patch 6.55, we're also going to get the final quest line for the tribes. To play this quest, you need to finish your reputation with the Arkasodara, the Omicron, and the Lopere tribe quest. All of them are quite easy to finish, and they don't take too long of a time. I highly recommend getting into them now, so you are done with them when the time comes for the final quest. These also work really well to just work on leveling something. With the Arkasodara, you can level the regular combat classes. With Omicron, you can level your gathering classes. And with the Loperites, your crafting classes. In 6.55, we are also getting somehow even further Hildebrand adventures. And of course, the next upgrade of the Mandeville weapon. Before that, in patch 6.51, we are getting the next set of the Splenderous tools. Now, like always, we are getting new instances in the patch. We're getting a new dungeon, which is the Lunar Subterranean, and we're getting a new trial in the Abyssal Fracture, and of course there's gonna be an extreme version of it as well. Both of these will come through the MSQ, so you will unlock them automatically as you go through the story. We will be going into the final part of our Alliance raid. We will be going into Thalia, where we're gonna meet our final gods. And we're also gonna get a new Unreal trial, which is the remake of the Singularity Reactor, or the Pope guy, basically from Heavensward. We will all suffer, and it will be fun. In 6.5, we are also getting a new variant and criterion dungeon in the Aloha Loa Island. Now, the developers have taken note from our feedback, where people were not too happy with the rewards from the Savage mode, so the rewards are being restructured and being worked on right now. But they indicate that these things will be useful in increasing item levels. So that is quite exciting. In 6.5 we will also get the final update to the duty support, adding in the Drowned City of Scala, the Burn, and the Gimlet Dark. Meaning now you can play every main scenario dungeon from A Realm Reborn through Endwalker with NPCs. We will be getting an update to our Island Sanctuary. So we're getting new Island Sanctuary rank and visions, new gathering areas in the wild, new crops, handicrafts, animals, structures, and more, and definitely some rewards we can buy from the island. And we're also getting the new thing called Felicitous Favors, which seems to be a new way to gather more currency on the island. In 6.5x we're also getting the new collaboration with the Fall Guys. They have already started the collaboration in the Fall Guys, where you can get costumes from Final Fantasy, but for us we're gonna get a new event in the Mandeville Gold Saucer, which is very exciting. I'm hoping this is gonna be really fun. They are adding in some miscellaneous updates as well. We are getting a new custom delivery person in Margaret. There will be a new consecutive ethereal reduction function for collectibles. There will be green dots indicated on newly logged fish in the fishing guide if you're trying to figure out what you just added in. And the ability to store optional items in the armor is going to be added, which will hopefully help reduce the load on many of our glamour dressers. Especially because if you go into your inn, you can glamour with both items from the armor and the glamour dresser, making things a lot more flexible. There will also be a minor change to teleportation. Now you will be able to choose if you want to have the teleports like you have them now, based on region, or if you want to sort the destination by expansions. And of course, if you've been working on getting all of the trial mounts so far, if you've gotten all of them and you get the new one, there will of course be the special new reward for for obtaining all of the trial map. I'm guessing it's gonna be some sort of a golden cat, based on what we've been getting this time around, but we will see. Now, one of the bigger changes is they're changing level restriction for duty roulettes. So instead of it being based on item level, it is now just based on level. So those of you who have been conveniently making sure we all run the Crystal Tower repeatedly, well, that's not gonna work anymore. But as we all know, people do this because the Crystal Tower is simply the shortest to run. So to account for that, they are actually going in and adjusting both the Tombstone reward and the XP reward for all of the Alliance raids to account for difficulty and time required for completion. So hopefully the Crystal Tower won't be the most optimal way to do it anymore, and we won't all be sad when we have something else. I, for one, am just excited to see anything outside of the Crystal Tower in these roulettes. Now, they did give a schedule for the release, and of course also remind us of when the fanfests are. 6.5 is coming out on October 3rd, which will have the main scenario part 1 and the Thalia raid. The UK fanfest will be in late October, where we will hopefully start seeing some more things about the new expansion. And around that time, patch 6.51 is also gonna drop, which is gonna include Aloha Aloha Island, which is the new variant engine, and the Red Sands, which is the new crystalline conflict map. And then we will have the Japan FanFest in early January, and in mid-January we're gonna get patch 6.55 with the new main scenario quest and new side quests like the Hildebrand questline, and of course our new upgrade to our weapons. The job adjustments coming in 6.5 will be focused on balancing damage output between the jobs within each role, and also increasing the potency of certain job actions. We're gonna learn more about this when the patch notes comes out, and I think we're just all gonna hope our class is the one that's gonna be buffed. Now, there are some big changes coming to the crystalline conflict, especially focused on the minimap and UI. And of course in 6.51 we are also getting the new arena, the Red Sands. New UI things that are being added are, for example, a new line on the field indicating the combat point, which is how far the looting team must progress to turn the tide. And there will now also be a new setting displaying the countdown timer 10 seconds prior to commencement of overtime. And there is just a big UI adjustment. I'm gonna show it here on the screen. You can pause the video and read it. I don't really play Crystalline Conflict, so I don't have the ability to explain this. And they're adding some effects for certain action, paths and such to indicate ally versus enemy, which is definitely going to be handy because it's good to know if it's your path that's doing this or the enemy's. And of course, now it was time for yoshi-p to start pulling out those papers, and he started showing us some gear. For some reason, he didn't show us as much gear as I expected, but we did get to see this really good looking armor, and then these more modern looking sets. And then finally he showed us some things from the new raid, which are looking pretty, but kinda similar to the ones we've gotten before. I kinda feel like these match more the previous part of the raid where we went into the area of ice. But they look okay. The Lalafell one is hard to see. I think the developers have to be a little bit more careful about what items they show on Lalafells, because some items look really nice on Lalafells, and we're gonna see one a little bit later that is like perfect to show off on Lalafell, but on other things are not as great to show off on Lalafells, and this armor is an example. And there is a lovely caster set here with a crown, which makes me almost kinda wanna take my bunny ears off just so I can wear that pretty crown. We will see. But we are going to see more of these sets later on. We of course get a sneak peek of the new housing items. These are the indoor items. My favorite is actually like the massive window clock on the wall and that little potted plant there in the background. And in outdoor items we're getting massive stairs. For those times when you want to get up on the roof of your house, you can now do that. I think people are going to find some really fun ways to do something with these stairs. We're also getting this Garlean something It's massive. I'm not sure what it's for, but it's massive. And of course, another set of outfits. They look like just chill home outfits. And of course, then we have this. And this outfit is the perfect example of outfits you can show on a Lalafell. Because I think this is going to look the best on a Lalafell because they just have the right type of body to show off this outfit. Though I think these shoes are going to be so useful in many different glamours. And then we get this. I think this is a kappa. I don't know why, but I mean this is what we're getting. We got to see some new mounts and yoshi-p's ability to just control the weather, which was kind of jarring. So we're getting in some like really interesting mounts. The one I'm most excited for is this fairy that will kind of fly around with you. I am curious if the fairy scales depending on like what your race is. I'm hoping it doesn't, because I think it's gonna be hilarious seeing like a tiny fairy just flying around with massive rogodins. We got to see a new minion, which is this stone head that opens its mouth and it glows. And then we have a new clockwork friend ready for the beach. He even brought his little inflatable. We have a new mount where we can ride the stickmen that are on the moon. They're looking mighty fine. They always kind of remind me of like ballerinas. Then there is a new motorbike. Not really my thing, but it looks fine. We are also getting the flying saucer mount, which I guess we're gonna get at the end of the Mandeville questline, and it looks so funny. I can see this mount being quite popular of people just floating around everywhere, looking like they're half asleep, being flown around by a flying saucer. And that were the mounts they showed off right now. Finally, they are also still working on making the servers work better. There are going to be some stress tests going on, especially in North America. We will hear about those later. And then there are two things outside of the game. If you live in Japan, you have the ability to do this KFC promo, and you will get a code and you will get a KFC emote. It seems to be only in Japan, so for the rest of us, it's fine. And the second thing is the Tabletop RPG. I talked about this in another video. And the Tabletop RPG seems to be releasing on May 25th next year, which is quite exciting. But that was the live letter. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this quick recap was helpful. And tell me, what are you excited for? Did you like the new outfits? And what do you think about the new mounts? The one I'm most excited for is the flying saucer and the fairy, but that is perhaps no surprise. And of course, I cannot wait to get the new Felicia's Furball outfit. That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day.